Welcome back to Series 2 of Harshil's How To. In this series, we're going to be building upon all the stuff that we learned in the last one, as well as looking at some much more intermediate Java features. So, to start off with, in this video, we're going to be focusing on scanners, which is essentially a way for us to pass data into our program as our primitive data types or strings. And the way we start off is we essentially have our scanner class. So the scanner is essentially an object in Java. And as you can see, I've defined it exactly like an object here. So I'm going to uncomment this line, and I have scanner s equals a new scanner. So essentially my variable is called s, and I'm getting an object of type scanner. And as you can see, I have, it's turning red because it's saying cannot resolve symbol scanner. And this is because we need to import it. So the way we do that is simply, if we click on it, then we can see we have java.util scanner came up before. And we can just import this by doing Alt and Enter, or if you click the red light bulb that appeared, you'd have the option to import the class. And as we can see, IntelliJ automatically imports it for us. And so now we have system.in here. And so this is something you may not be familiar with. It's essentially the way we want to input data into our program. So here we're using system.in, which essentially means we're going to be typing data into our program. And so now let's actually use this. Well, I have to essentially use one of the methods associated with my scanner object. So I would say s.next, and that would refer to the next word to be typed in. And so I need to store this word somewhere. And so we just simply create a variable. So string, I'm going to call it my next word, is equal to s.next. And then let's print that out just so we can actually see it coming. So system.out.println, and we'll print out my next word. And so if I run this program, then as you can see, I'll have an option to type in the bottom here, and I'll say hello, and then it prints out hello on this line. So here I get the option to input it on the first line, and then it outputs it here. I can also use it to store other types of data. So for example, if I was to say get an int, I could say int my next number, and then I would have to do s.nextIn. And then similarly, I could do it for a long, so I could say long my next long is equal to s.nextLong. And then I could similarly run these. And so for the first one, it's asking me for my string, so I'll say hello. Then it's going to ask me for my next number and my next long, so I'll say 3 and 4. And then the process just terminates because, I haven't asked it to do anything else after that. And then the process just terminates because I haven't asked it to do anything else after that. And so once we actually finish using our scanner class, it's really important to remember to close the stream. Because essentially when we did system.in here, we actually opened up an input stream. And then, so we finish it off by doing s.close. And now the reason we need to do this is because our computer is actually using resources up to keep this input stream open. And so if we want to be an efficient programmer, we need to make sure that we terminate all the resources once we don't need them anymore. Another way of inputting data is using a file. And so I can define my new scanner, and I'm going to call it sc. And I can use a new file that I have, so new file, and the file that I'm going to be using is called my text file. And as you can see again, we have another error coming up, and so once again we just simply import it, and if we go here we can see that the file library has been imported into Java. But then we now have what's known as an unhandled exception. So for now, we can just get IntelliJ to add an exception to the method signature. And what that does is sort of let the method know that we're throwing what's known as a file not found exception. And we'll be covering more on exceptions in a later video. And so now we'll sort of just let IntelliJ fix the error and we'll move on. And so now what this will do is it'll go through my text file, which is actually a file I've already created in the same directory. And we can get it to essentially go through the file. So while the scanner has next, and what this would be doing is it'll be saying whilst there is a sort of something to come in our input stream, or in our file input stream, then keep going through. And this will keep going through until the end when there's nothing left. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say string next word. And remember, this has next is referring to a word, just how we did it here, my next word. And so string next word is equal to sc.next. And just so we can see what's happening, we're going to print out each of the new instantiations of next word by doing system.out println next word. And so I'll comment this out just for now. And then I'm going to run this program. And we get hello, this is my text file, end of file. And that's how we would essentially read from a file as well using the scanner class. So that's a brief overview of the scanner class. And essentially, as you can see, it's actually quite useful. And it has loads of other features as well, which I would recommend exploring, such as token delimiters. Other than that, I hope you found my content useful. And if you have, please do like, share, and subscribe.